Yo, what's going on, you guys? It's your boy Ben Mahari here, represent Mahari Nation Sports Podcast. Much love to the entire LDBC and the entire baseball community in this case here, guys. But also, just a little bit on the basketball note, we'll be back with basketball conversations on Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Time, where we're going to discuss the Giannis, signing, and we're going to discuss, the preseason as we get ready for the regular season that's going to come up in a few weeks. So, with no further ado, let's get down to business here, shall we? So, a couple of days ago, the Cleveland baseball team announced that They're going to start changing the name of the old Indians name to basically a new name, starting next year. Next year, um, this will be the final season that the organization is going to carry the Cleveland Indians, name that's been formulated since since the late 19 I think it was the 1910s, 1920s, I think. So they've been pretty much held on to that name for pretty much a long time. But because of the fact that of all the recent events and all the protesting that's been going on with the name over the last few decades, finally the ownership has pretty much decided to change the name of the team. So this is what they pretty much had to say in a statement that they put out on Monday. So this is what they pretty much said on a statement on their Twitter. Um, they said, "End quote." The Cleveland Indians today have announced our decision to begin the process of changing our team name Indians. Since July, we've conducted an extensive process to learn how our team name affects different uh, consti- uh, constituencies and whenever different communities or whatever, and whenever it aligns with our organizational values. As a result of that process, we have decided to move forward with the changing of our current team name and determining a new non-Native American based name for the franchise. We believe our organization is at its best when we can unify our community and bring people together. And we believe a new name will allow us to do this more fully. Team owner and chairman Paul Dolan says, hearing firsthand of the stories and experiences of Native American people, we've gained a deep understanding of how tribal communities feel about the team name and the terminal effects it has on them. We've also spoken to local civic leaders who represented diverse populations in our city and who have lightened the negative impact our team name has had on our broader population and on our underrepresented groups across our community. I am truly grateful for their engagement and input, which I found enlightening and insightful. When a sports team is aligned with its community, it locks the ability to unite people from different backgrounds and bring people together in support of its home team. While Indians will be part of our history, it is time to move forward and work to unify our stakeholders and fans through a new name. End quote. Now, let's just be honest with this, okay? The only reason why they just pretty much wanted to change their name is because it's all about money with these owners. All right. Bottom. Here's the thing, guys. Just reflect back to the whole Washington name change controversy. All right, that's been pretty much going on for decades. Jack Kent Cook, the previous owner, and Daniel Snyder were pretty much the owners of that team for decades. Okay, Daniel Snyder was pretty much hell bent on never changing the old, the R word. In this case, I'll just say it one time: the Redskin name. He had no intentions on changing it whatsoever. But you know why he was forced to change? Because the fact is that FedEx was going to revolt on their stadium deal, and he was going to lose a lot of money because of it. All right. The main advertisers for that Washington football team, what I'm saying, they were all going to depart if he didn't change the name. That's why he was forced to do it. All right. And it's no surprises to me because listen, ever since in my existence, the word Indians has been pretty much synonymous with the baseball team for so many years. But I will not lie to you into the fact that there's been a lot of people that were pretty much offended by the use of the name. All right, and it's just not just the Indians name as well. Listen, the Atlanta Braves has been synonymous with their most offensive chant of all, and that is the tomahawk chop. All right, I can even recall, talking to old Minnesota Twins fans that were basically cheering for the Twins during the 1991 World Series when the Braves were in the Metrodome. Listen, there were Native American groups that were filing outside of the Metrodome, protesting against Ted Turner, against Faye Vincent, the old commissioner of Major League Baseball, on the issue of the Braves name and protesting to change the name. All right, it's been persistent that way for so many generations. Okay, including in Super Bowl 26 when the Washington football team was going against the Buffalo Bills for the Super Bowl. Again, they protested outside of the Metrodome to pretty much change the name of that Washington football team. All right, when Jack Kent Cook was the owner of the team, and he didn't budge on changing the name either. All right, listen, this country right now is becoming much more woke and is becoming much more secular. Okay, but there is going to still be a section of people that are going to be continuously offended of all the things that's been going on around here. All right, but as much as I am, I'm still black at the end of the day, and we're going through rougher stuff that has been going on in our society. All right, we know this. I'm not going to go too far into that because we already know the answers to that. Okay, but I will not lie to you when I say that I do have my empathy for Native American people, especially the brutal treatment that this country has done to Native Americans. I mean, come on, it's not that hard to read it all. Even when history books try to sweeten it and try to lessen it, it's still going to show that that white settlers and white people pretty much were responsible for the genocide of Native Americans. I mean, there's no way to try to spin it. All right. So, in all honesty, in my humbleness, I think that it was pretty much a long time coming for the Cleveland baseball team to change the name. And now, it's hard for me to not say not to say the Cleveland Indians name because it's pretty much been in my existence since I was born, right? Specifically, me, with my Minnesota Twins baseball team, they're in basically specifically because Cleveland is in the AL Central. We face them regularly during the regular season, right? It's been pretty much synonymous for a lot of people and a lot of fans that have pretty much had been growing in love with this team and they're still waiting for a World Series championship. But the point is, people are going to learn to adapt and they're going to learn to move forward from it. Whatever name that the organization decides to choose from, people are just going to learn to accept it and then they're just going to learn to move on from it. Now, the word Indians is going to remain in the team's history. All right, that's never going away. But people are going to learn to adjust. They're going to learn to adapt the same way that a lot of the same Washington football fans have had to learn to adapt away from the Redskin name. Okay, the same thing when it came down to the Bullets and basically being called the Washington Wizards. All right, so all these things people are just going to learn to adapt and pretty much adjust. But I'm kind of happy that they finally decided to rid of the name. All right, I've already seen that basically the Atlanta baseball team organization is not going to remove the Braves name whatsoever. They really need to start considering that too. I think that at some point, a lot of these baseball teams, a lot of these sports teams that have used Native American names, I mean, it's going to get to a point now where they're going to either have to be forced to change or lose, a lot of their sponsors and a lot of their, people that are basically, have, contractual agreements with a lot of these, sports organizations. So that just pretty much is what it is on that. But, you know, I just kind of feel, enlightened that the Cleveland baseball team decided to finally change the name, which has been pretty much a long time coming, and hopefully that this will be more to come as more more sports organizations start looking at Native American names in a different perspective, and hopefully make the necessary changes needed as the country continues to change. So that's just pretty much my 2 cents. You can let me know what you think in the comment section below. And with that, I'm out. Peace.